Hello and welcome to another Let's Play of Eldfall Chronicles. And this time we are at the old cemetery. And let's jump right into the narrative. You step into the mouth of a valley where towering cliffs rise on either side, where faces are dotted with thousands of tombstones and Rishinkyo statues. Many of the statues are intricately carved into the rock itself, their solemn visages obscured by snow. Hundreds of crypts punctuate the cliff faces, their dark, yawning entrances, framed by weathered stone. Massive tombs, marked by mountainous stone gates, mark the passage of both highborn and lowborn alike. Those who fell during the long war of the Crimson Age, the conflict that set in motion the formation of the Empire of Soga. Once these burial grounds were blessed and tended by the monks of the mountains, ensuring peace for the souls who perished in the war. Pure water once cascaded down the cliffs, collecting in a sacred pond in this valley before flowing through the mountains. The Kitsune kept it pristine. Their kind adores death, seeing it as a stain upon the living world. To keep it at bay, they aided the monks from afar, ensuring they would never have to touch it themselves. The steady flow cleansed the valley, washing away death corruption. But now, as you enter deeper, the water lies foul and stagnant, its power long since tainted. The air is thick with the scent of decay and the wails of the dead, reawakening once more from the crypts. The place has become a hive of rot and shadows. So, tiles, heroes, and environmental 1, 2 aquatic and elevation tokens are indicated as places indicated. In addition, our last event, the Neko Marketer card, is placed here. So this is why I have an intrigue token E and not shown here. We skip the weather. Refined Profane Burner is basically a normal Profane Burner, so no command undead and dead stayed resurrected. Necromantic Fog is also already known. And now we have Refined Profane Burners, which need, next to a mana point or a -3 moral check, you need to discard one Banishing Talisman or Deathflower Balm. When cleansed, the Profane Burner becomes into a clean one. Therefore, I have given Nara 2 of the Banishment Talismans, as well as the Buckler. So therefore, she has now 1, 2, 3, and the Protective Talisman 4. Theros has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Here's one with the short bow, the stone splitter, and the warding pelt, and monocle and 2 precious metals. Because for the synergy card, I have decided to go with Martial Gravitas. So every time the hero becomes enchanted or healed by another hero, make a strike 1. And yes, I'm planning to put this also on Sagan. And with this, I have 2 precious metals, which I can most likely shortly pop up and put 2 tokens on it. So, with all, the quest ends when the heroes exit through the field. So basically all this, you can see here, I have already read which opponents I'm most likely to face. So here we have an assortment. But before that, let's go and I'll start my first turn. Nara will put second sight onto herself, but in the strategic phase. And now we will pop 2 precious metals to give me 2 synergy points already. And I read that Theros only recovers 1 of the items. So yeah, with this in mind, before the game starts, I will give him this combination. Even when healing potion with the 2 HP is really valuable. Let me just make it this way. So, exchanging the Protective Talisman for medicine, because now it doesn't matter. Now Theros can pop each one of these and also can have with the healing potion, so this should be fine now. Okay, Spectral Sight on Nara, advantage against undead. And before I start with Anari, I will go with Nara, 1, 2, triggering and counter 1. And let's continue. After a long, varied trek through the burial grounds, you spot a solitary figure among the tombstones, and recognition strikes almost immediately. It's him, the Rasetsu from before, the one where illusions you glimpsed at the temple grounds. Seeing him in person, you take in his full visage. Where Gurren was wild and savage, he is refined, dressed in lavish monastery robes, carrying himself like any Oni you've seen, unlike any Oni you've seen. He exudes an air of dark dignity, relishing the grim work at hand. Pride gleams in his cold eyes as he methodically carries out his task. His left arm is adorned with an ornate remembrance, horns curling upwards from his shoulders, and gaping maw sculpted into the elbow joint. The vambrace hums with unnatural power, and through it you watch as he siphons whirling coils of spectral energy, souls drawn from the tombs around him. These spirits are caught in a whirlwind and pulled into ancient bronze cauldrons at his feet, which bubble and churn with a sinister green substance. A cold, commanding presence lingers in the air, and you remember his voice. A deep foreboding settles in your chest. This isn't just another foe. Place Amaro, Blue Rasetsu, Profane Burner on 2 and 4, Superior Loot Token on space north of, space enemies as per spawning enemies. Here we are. So let's roll. If you have 3 fate tokens, KLMNO. KLMNO is not. Exchange for fate token P. If you have none of the fate token A, B, or P, we have A, B. Therefore, we do not read the secret log. If you have 1 or 2 fate token of A, B, or P, and P, read OK, we go to this one. If you have all 3, 15C. Okay, no. We are reading fate token. We are reading secret log B15, 1, 2, 3. So let's go. 15. The air thickens as you approach, pressing against your senses. He turns slowly and deliberate, a dangerous predatory smile unfurling on his lips. A knowing glint flickers in his eyes. Ah, there you are. His voice is smooth, dark, each word slicking through the silence. I've heard whispers and the trouble you have stirred. Quite the distraction you have been. He tilts his head, gaze swept over you with intrigue. I expected you to break long before now, yet here you stand. His eyes gleam unreadable. I suppose introductions are in order, he muses, his voice silken over steel. I'm Amaru. Sorry. As he steps forward, the air between you becomes charged with quiet menace. Let's see if you last long enough to make this truly interesting. The Rasetsu haughtily greets you with a deep bow and demands you return him the courtesy prior to the fight. Your heroes are faced with a choice. Choose one option. You may not select the others. Bow carefully, take the initiative and take him while he offers. A or B? Since he is courtly, even despite his evil nature, I will take option A. Flicker of surprise crosses his face. Slowly, a grin spreads across his lips. How refreshing, he murmurs, his tone laced with approval. To face someone who knows the value of honor, he straightens his predatory stance, shifting into something more dignified. Very well, I shall meet you as an equal. Continue the fight. Okay, I have chosen for A. Now let's see what B would have. So basically, spoilers here. I will read it without it. Okay, interesting. So, with all this done, now we will roll for the place enemies as per the spawning enemies. We have an 18, which is one tier 1 hostile, so basically an Oni Marauder. And at the start of each spawn, a hostile on 2, 3, or 4, whichever is closer to the hero. So 2 is the 18. Okay, I will just do that. And then, is it the closest? 2, 3, or 4? Yeah, it is the closest. I will just place the hostiles, and then we will see what Nara continues with her turn. Okay, with all placed, Nara makes her moves her third square. And now she will try a dodge action against Aomaru's defense 16 with 2 strikes. One strike for his reactive roll, a second strike for his sentinel, and since Nara has a weak point and this is a boss monster, he will exploit this one weak point to get a third strike. So Amaru has 3 strikes, and Nara will try to dodge. Nara, 13 or less, as 7 is a greater roll. So Aomaru needs natural 1s. 14 is a miss, 16 is a miss, and 20 is a miss in general. So, first activation spent, and Nara is allowed to move 2 spaces. 1, 2, getting back here. And let's turn this one around. Next, also because of the buckler, he had only a defense of 14. Next, will I go with Sagan? I will not go with Sagan. I will go with Anari. 1, 2, 3 spaces. It's more than his reach. So from there, Anari is safe to cast. And she will use it to cast Melting Touch on Theros, so that he can ignore armor. Now, range attack suffers -3. Thenian Crossbow offers on the short range a +3. And with this, 1, 2, 3, 4, Theros could also be able to try the Soporific Grenade. It's a more of 16, so therefore it would be 8. Might be useful, might try it, even if it's only an 11 or less to hit, instead of a 13 or less. Yeah, I would try the Soporific Grenade. So, Theros attacks, and line of sight, outside, okay, and Aomaru will dodge with 2 spaces. So let's see, Theros needs an 11 or less, and he starts to disappoint immediately because Aomaru wouldn't have dodged. So the only dodge is 1, 2 spaces closer, which means that Sagan now is within reach. And he has he sweep? No, he has no sweep as opposed to the Oni Marauder. So, okay. So he will only attack inside his own space, which means Sagan is currently at 14. From here to... Let me just try to get a... Sagan, you're in the way. Yeah, I would say there is line of sight, which means that Nara could cast onto Sagan. Or will I do something else? I would like to use Anari to enchant Sagan with ignoring armor, because Aomaru has an armor of 3, and I hope to slice through his 8 wounds. Therefore, I think that I will activate Theros next, once again. And Theros will use, before that, he will walk 1 and 2, getting engaged, triggering Aomaru's next activation. And Theros has an offense of 13, Aomaru has one of 16, defense of 16, so therefore Theros will try to dodge as well. Aomaru has normally 2 attacks, but he will exploit a weak point from Theros Only 13 left to get 3 strikes. Theros 13 or less. Okay, dodging seems to be possible with Theros. And now we have 16, 16, and 15. Therefore, that was Aomaru's third activation. And Theros is allowed to dodge 2 spaces. And he will go 1, 2. Becoming the next target of the Oni Marauder. Now, Anari. 1, 2, and then, yeah, she will go 1, 2. Cast Melting Touch on Theros, on Sagan, sorry. And then retreat. So, Melting Touch, Melting Touch. And now, Sagan. 1, 2. Let's see what he can do. First activation. Sagan has in his offense 2 strikes normally. He will use second wind to get a third activation. And now, since he's enchanted by Anari, he gets offense +3, therefore he is at 17. We have an 11 and 10 and a 7. He is ignoring armor, therefore 15 or less is a wound. It's a 13, an 11, and a 3. These are already 3 wounds. Now the burns. It's a 5 and a 12, which are 2 additional wounds. 1, 2. With Sagan's first activation, yeah, I will just let the wound come there. And Theros, because of Sequented Assault paired with Sagan, is allowed to attack. 14, he has an accuracy of 14, +3 for the Thenian crossbow, -3 for the necromantic fog, hit exactly. Assassination 1, therefore he has a power of 19. With a 6, this is enough to put a 6th wound onto him. And the burn, 17, power 19, is enough to put immediately 7 wounds onto Aomaru. This was nearly a one-shot. Okay, it was my maximum damage output in 1 activation, but that's amazing. Before spawn, Aomaru is wounded. It destroys the spawned hostile, starting the last tier. Aomaru heals from the amount HP equal to the destroyed hostile. Okay. That was Sagan's first activation. I have Anari and I have Sagan. Excuse me. Since Aomaru is out of activation points, is there another thing? No? Okay. This might be a quick game. He will... yeah. I put him out of activations and I don't see any mistake currently. So please, if you notice any mistakes I make, let me know in the comments. I'm a little bit baffled that so far it's easy. But we will see what happens. Thing will activate again. 2 strikes normally. 3rd strike for second wind. Buffed, so... oh, and... sorry, he was enchanted and put 6 wounds onto him. Therefore, I get a synergy point. Which means that I unlocked Martial Gravitas, which will immediately go also to Sagan. So, okay. Now, Sagan is allowed to attack. Still 17 or less with the second activation. Here is the 17, still a hit. 4 on 7, 3 hits again. 15 or less. 20, 20, and a 7, this is 1 wound. The burn, 16 is not another wound, but this is the 8th wound, which means that he's defeated, and just for good measure, and it's 3, Theros with a 20 would have hit. This as a first roll would have been devastating. Okay, that was luck that the first action went so well, saying put 6 wounds onto him and Theros another. But with 8 wounds, at the start of hostile turn, if Amaro is wounded, it is destroyed. He's not wounded, he is defeated. Exploit weak points. Confuse stake. Is present on the field, will attempt to invade hero's mind. He is defeated. Here. If Amaro drops below before it faces moves to okay, here it is. So let me just put it back. That would have been too easy. Okay. Drops below. Let's put this away. 7 hit points in 1 turn. So it phases, moves to 5 in the middle. Whoop, here we go. I just thought it would have been too easy. So and becomes distracted. Distracted was that was confused, panicked. I believe this is distracted. Let's put this one as a reminder. And gains regeneration 1. Encounter 2 cannot be resolved before this. Encounter 2. Did I forget to put encounter 2 into the field? Encounter 2. Resets the profound loot prepared of the enemy. I don't see where encounter 2 should go. Devil. Okay, encounter 2 is here, the mausoleum. Sorry, I already placed it there. Okay. So encounter 2 cannot be resolved before this. Okay, this happened now. When both refund are cleansed, and if Amaro is still alive, trigger and resolve encounter 3, otherwise ignore this. Okay, good, sorry. Thought I had overlooked something. Now, with the Oni Marauder there, and Sagan and Nara still able to activate. 1, 2, 3, and dodge into. Excuse me. Let's go with. Yeah. He only has a defense of 10, so Anari will activate first. And she will move 1, 2, 3, and then dodge the Oni Marauder's attack. And with a 3, she successfully dodges the Oni Marauder. With a 7, would have hit, despite the -2, but Nara successfully dodges and jumps into the space of the Oni Marauder. And now Sagan, 1, 2. Sagan. The Oni Marauder will be destroyed because of him, but at the start of each hostile, spawn a hostile on 2 or 3 or 4, whichever is closer to a hero, according to the table, and the closest is 2. Therefore, there will spawn a hostile. And I will say that Sagan moves only 1 space to end the activation sequence, because then the Oni Marauder cannot react. And in the end phase, because it's not an activation, he uses his Ranger class to get also in contact with the Oni Marauder. So now it starts with Third Eye. It will attempt to invade the might of heroes at the start of a hostile turn after Chaos card. Okay, after Chaos card. Before spawning enemies is wounded, it destroys a spawned hostile. Heals the amount of HP equal to the destroyed hostile's tier. So, with this Oni Marauder destroyed, and the regeneration, he regenerates 4 wounds. That is really quick. From 7, he is... Oh, I overlooked this one. So, he has Only 3 runes remaining. Regeneration 1 and 3 for the Oni. Now, let's see which new enemy spawns here. It's a 9, 2 tier 1, 1 to 10 Vengeful Spirit, Bone Walker 1 to 10 Vengeful Spirit, 1 Vengeful Spirit and a Bone Walker. So I will just put on diet just to remind myself. After Chaos card is resolved. Okay, so this one is all done. Chaos card. Weather, heavy snow, dense and hazy. Okay, and I'm protected from freezing winds. That is great for me. And now, with the most VP, that's Sagan with 16. Becomes confused until next retrieve. If no hero has VP, close. Okay. And here it is. And it goes to Sagan. Okay. I have still turned around Sagan. Let me just put down the Bone Walker and the Vengeful Spirit, and we will see what happens next. I just read up on Dance and Hazy once again. So basically, reach attacks have -1 strikes, and mountain flying cannot enter. That is not relevant for my game. But no attacks through outside. Attacks inside get half attacked, and -3 for reach. So this is a serious debuff on the Onis, who normally have reach 1 with their weapon, so -1 strike and -3 to attack. And Theros can ignore the Hazy. So he only gets the -1 strike. I will rule that there is a minimum of -1. And with all that, we can continue with the hostiles turn. Since our Maru is distracted, he will not activate. And with all that, 1 to 10 the Vengeful Spirit. It will the Bone Walker who will activate first. So, and they are active, not passive. And with all that, the Bone Walker 1 to 10 will strike Nara. He will strike Nara, which triggers Sagan's free protector skill. So Sagan has, because of square off, make a free reaction with strike 1. And he has 17 in total in that regard. The Bone Walker has 2 strikes. I can use Nara's previous weak point. And Sagan reduces. It has an offense of 11 because of the Vengeful Spirit next to it. And Sagan gets a -3, 17 to 14 against 11. Sagan is a Sentinel, sorry, that's why he gets a second attack. And Sagan will use Masterful Parry to reduce the 11 down to an 8. So 8 or less for the for the Bone Walker. 17 and 11, both miss. Sagan -3 from the shield, this time I remember. Not as all my previous games, so 14 or less. 4 and 11, these are 2 hits. He wins the confrontation. Wait, the 4 is cancelled by the 11, but the 11 is... the 11 is a hit, sorry, as a miss, sorry. So, since it is a miss, both hit. Ignoring armor, 15 or less to wound. These are 2 wounds, and with a burn of natural 1 and 14, the Bone Walker is, despite the incense burner, removed from the field. And since this is a sweep, and I believe sweep on a successful attack roll, all models within the same space and adjacent space with line of sight on melee weapon suffer a hit. It is an immediately hit, so 2 hits on the Vengeful Spirit, which are 2 wounds, and the burn quality 3 and 9. Put down the Vengeful Spirit before it can activate. Yeah, and with this, that was the hostile turn. So let me get a little focus. This is the state of the adventure after turn 1 for both. Aomaru only has 3 hit points left, or if 3 hit points wounded, so he has 5 left. A few dead. And yeah, let me think about the hero's turn, and I'll let you join as soon as I have decided. I just looked up the confused state, which halves all offense stats and agility and more. But why I looked it up? Because Sagan destroyed the hostiles but I think that it is okay to say, because Sagan rolled exceptionally well, except with 117, that it is still enough to destroy both of them, the hostiles, so I will stay with it how it is now. And also it was epic. Now it's the hero's second turn. It starts with Nara, who will, in the strategic phase, who will cast Spectral Sight onto herself just to stay safe and get advantage against undead. Theros will gain his soporific grenade back. And now I will, in honest, start with Nara, who will activate to cleanse a Refined Profane Burner by using the interactions. She spends one of her mana points and a Banishing Talisman. So 1 mana point goes back here, and one of the Banishing Talismans is burnt. But this one is turned into a normal Incense Burner. Okay, with this done, the aquatic terrain half speed and reduces burn by 1 stage. So next I will go with Sagan, who will use a run action. 1, 2, 3, 4, gets into the aquatic space. And next Sagan will wait, because before that Theros will activate. It's hazy, but he can ignore it. So 1, 2, half speed is halved, so he can go here. He thinks he can ignore the hazy state. Theros will attack Aomaru is distracted, and distracted stays, I believe, until the opponent is attacked. Yeah, attacked, or they share a space with the enemy at the end of the activation. Okay, so Theros 1, 2, and then Theros will go a third one up to here, because Aomaru is distracted. There are no hostiles currently. So before spawning enemies, so he will not soul siphon, which is great. Therefore Sagan 1, 2, he uses a run action because his speed is halved for the aquatic. Nara will use a run action. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Goes up to here. And Nari will use a walk action. 1, 2, cast Melting Touch on because of the here it is, dance. She cannot use a range attack, so she will run 2 additional. And now Neri will walk 1 space. This is allowance of 4, and then she will cast Melting Touch onto Sagan. Goes up to here. Sagan would be allowed, because of Martial Gravitas, to attack, but Neri holds back from this just to be better prepared. Now the 3 is the next one. Yeah. So no, so she will stay here. Theros 1, 2, use the run action, and with this Theros is still Nara activated, Sagan activated twice, and Neri activated twice. She will go here, cast Melting Touch on Sagan, and goes 1 space back. So now it is in order. And Theros is still able to activate. And he will, since all this I assume, because, encounter 2, sorry. Encounter 2. Aomaru glares at you, wounded, but seething with wrath. Bloodlust pours off him in suffocating waves. The air thickens and the surrounding darkens, as if the world itself recoils. A green mist begins to rise, swirling around him, taunting the ground, and casting long shadows over the tombs. Check if you have Fate B. Green B, we have. If you do not, okay, we have it, so this is done. Tenma Blue Yakasha appears on the space with the Profane Burner closest to Hero Blue. The Blue Razetsu stops being distracted. Okay. That changes my tactics. Okay. let's go a little bit back. Theros not. Here we go, and Anari stood 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, here. Nara is back here, and Sagan is also back here. Okay. So, and encounter 2 happened. Okay. Our Maru stopped being distracted, which is not the greatest. Which means that Theros 1, 2, 3. This was the first 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4, 5. That was his first activation. Now, since he's allowed to ignore the hazy, he will immediately drop his soporific grenade onto our Maru, and our Maru will. This is after the upkeep phase. He has no activation points. Let's see what happens. With a 16, Theros misses. But that is interesting. And that was a stupid move. Now, let's see. We will activate Sagan. 1, 2, 3, 4. He jumps right into here. Then Anari. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jumps right next to Sagan. And now Sagan and Anari have both a movement of 2. So that Sagan can climb up. Sagan will stay where he is, because first Anari will activate to cast Melting Touch on Sagan and get out of the water. Then Sagan will activate. He will use a run action to gain 2 spaces of movement. 1, 2, getting into the same space as Theros. Nara clans that one, and she will use a run action. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Even when our Maru is not distracted anymore, he only has 3 wounds left. As long as it is immune to range attacks and gains regeneration 1. Okay. Oh, sorry. Should have read the whole thing. So let's go with this. Immune. Stop being distracted as stated here. Oh no, everything is fine because it stopped being distracted and it's a complicated game. Yeah, well. Okay. With all that said and done, let's go after Chaos card and here. Spawning hostiles, it's a 15 and a 15 is 1 to 2. Player's choice on space, now it's 3. So we will have a Forgotten Hero up to here. Let me place it and then we will continue. Okay, hostile is placed. Let's continue with the Chaos deck. Spawn 1 tier 1 hostile on the space that has an intrigue token and is closest to the entrance, which would be immediately at the heroes. So, 1 to 10, it's the Vengeful Spirit. It is not, it is a Bone Walker, which appears here. So, okay, that was a Set in Ambush, who also gets 2 activation points. Now, with all this, our Maru, before there wasn't. Sagan is still the one with the most weak points, so he is now confused. So, let's see, I have to look up spells, if I am able to cast enchantment spells. I believe not. If I can cast enchantment spells in my reaction. Bolts are weak in charge unless they only. Okay, healing spells can only be cast not enchantment. So with this becomes very interesting. Excuse me. Okay, because we start with the lowest tier, it is this Bone Walker. 1 to 10, it attacks Sagan. it will attack Sagan. And this will trigger a reaction from a Nary, and Nary will cast the Cure. Remove crippled opponent and we. Oh, okay, sorry. The She will not cast Cure. I thought this would also remove the confused state. Okay, it doesn't. So, will Sagan react is the question. Here are enough other people, and he has 17 in total, half because of the confused state. 17 halved is 8.5, so he has a defense of 9 in total currently. Sagan will take the hits. So 2 attacks from the Bone Walker, 19 and 17, so 2 misses. Next, the Bone Walker activates again. Sagan will once again take the hits, 18 and 18. So this Bone Walker basically did nothing. Since we still have Heavy Snow, and Heavy Snow, no range attack through from outside, means that basically there is no range attack. So with this, the Forgotten Hero walks into base contact with the hero, or into the same space, and now he's allowed to attack. Let's see. 1 to 10 Sagan. It will also attack Sagan, and this time Sagan will react. Will he? Will he not? Will he? Will he not? He will react. Yeah, he will react. Let's go with this. Sagan 2 strikes, the Forgotten Hero 2 strikes, and Sagan will reduce the offense of the Forgotten Hero by 2 or 3. Let's have a look. It's a total by 3. Masterful parry. Just wanted to be sure. What I don't know why I was unsure. I used it so often. So Sagan is at 17, halved is at 9, and the Forgotten Hero is at 11. 11 from the Forgotten Hero. It's a 2 and a 19. And Sagan rolls a 3 and a 20. So the 3 wins this confrontation. Power is not reduced, therefore 50. Oh, and he has sweep 1, which also hits the Bone Walker. So therefore 15 or less. It's a 5, which is a hit, which is a wound. Now the burn is a 9. This is a second wound, which destroys it. And Theros is allowed to perform 1 free strike 1. Therefore, with his sword, he hits because he has an offense of 13. Assassination puts his toughness up to 17, minus 6. 7 is a wound. So this one is, the Forgotten Hero is already out. Sagan hits the Bone Walker with his sweep 1. With a 5, it is enough to defeat it. 20 is not enough to kill it. And Theros, because it's a hit, would once again allowed to attack, would hit, but would not wound. So this one goes down because the burn didn't destroy it, but because of the refined profane burner, it stays where it is. Okay, and all this with 1 activation. Sagan is great. Now our Maru activates. He's not allowed to attack with his Tormented Soul because of hazy, but walk towards enemy, stop 1 inch if able to. So he goes here with the 3 wounds, and now attacks. Because of dance he has -1 strike, and because of melee reach he suffers -3 to attack. And offense is his return, so 1 to 10 he attacks Sagan. He will attack Sagan, and Sagan will activate by dodging. So Sagan will dodge. Our Maru has 2 strikes, -1 is only 1 strike. So 1 strike from our Maru with a 6, it is a hit, despite -3. And Sagan with a 13, he has an agility of 11, he will not dodge. So staggered, armor piercing, armor 3 only, 15, it is a power of 19, minus 3 is 16, so this is a second wound on Sagan, who's currently still standing. Same space as Arumaru. And yeah, Nara will activate and Anari will activate for a dodge. So 1, she will stay 1, 2, intrigue token, let's stay there. And Anari will go 1 here with her dodge. Sorry. It's closest enemy. Oh, and a charm. I totally forgot charm 2. Sorry. Let's see, charm 2. Enemy declaring reaction against first must perform an intro. Sagan, 15. He failed it. On a failed roll may only declare nothing until the end of the and must also walk towards with full speed. Okay, so Sagan did that and nothing changed. Anari with an int of 16 is fine, and Nara with an int of 16, 1, 2 must also walk into the same space as Arumaru. This can come quite dangerous. Now Arumaru attacks 1 to 10 Sagan. Nara, which is great because now Sagan wants to use his protector to become his target. Is he allowed to do so? With a 7 he is allowed to do so. And Nara tries to activate. With a 14 she has an intelligence of 13. She's not fine. She does nothing and stays where she is. But Sagan is able to react. He will make a confrontation out of this, and he will reduce Arumaru's strike value. He will reduce his offense by 3. So with this, Arumaru has... Oh, wait a second. He hit Sagan with knockdown. And knockdown... With this threat becomes crouched. Okay, so Sagan is also crouched. Good thing that I caught that. In this instance, Sagan will try to dodge, which he... now he has, with the protector, he's only able to make a free strike. So, yeah, crouched. Let's do that. And let's have a look at the crouch. Is it here? Here it is crouched. Attack strike is 1, cannot cause engage, normal movement, okay. Halved speed and armor. So Sagan, 2 strikes, rolls a 3, Arumaru, 10 and 20, wins with a 20. Oh, he exploits Sagan's, he cannot exploit Sagan's weak point because of the Hanya. So, 1 hit, half armor 3, does it stack with armor piece and quarter it? Let's roll a die. With a 14, it doesn't matter. Oh, does it actually matter? Yeah, Theros regains his... Oh no, it's the hostile turn, sorry. Does it matter? Maneth... Oh no, it makes it easier for him to wound, so... Now, Sagan is incapacitated. Okay, and with Sagan incapacitated, Arumaru attacks Nara. And, oh yeah, Sagan activated twice, Nara activated twice, Theros did not, and Nari did once. Yeah, since it would be possible, Theros would now try to react in Arumaru's activation. And he would like to shoot or dodge. He would like to dodge into the space to heal. Is he allowed to do so? With a 4 he is in full control. But since Arumaru has no sweep, it doesn't matter really. Nara has no weak point, which means that there's nothing to exploit. 2 attacks at Nara. 16 minus 3 because of the hazy, and minus... The attack will reach 1 or above, so I read it that it's in general with the weapons. Minus 2 for the buckler, 19 misses despite anything and 11 hits. Armor 3 reduced to 1 and 1.5, and therefore it's only Armor 2. And with an 18, the Armor 2 actually managed to protect Nara. So no wound, staggered, but she gains a weak point. Here we are. So I will think about my next hero's turn, and I'll let you join as soon as I decide it once again. Okay, hero's third turn. Strategic phase. Nara casts Necrotic Wounds onto herself to give a cleave and poison 2. Theros uses his healing potion on Sagan and regains the soporific grenade. Sagan regains 2 hit points with this, is now conscious. And Theros and Anari. And with all this, our Maru has 3 activation points. And I will start with the first activation of Theros. He uses a dodge action. Our Maru has 2 strikes. 1 because of reactive roll and 1 because of sentinel. So Theros with a 19 fails to dodge, -3. The 14 misses because of the -3, but the 8 hits. With a 16, Theros has an armor of 2. Therefore he is hit, gets a second wound, is down, still allowed to dodge, so here, goes down here. Armor used 1 of his activations. Next, let's see, I will go with... Will I go with Anari? Yeah, I will go with Anari into the reach of Aomaru so that he will spend his second activation. And she will cast Melting Touch on Nara. Aomaru triggers 2 strikes, 14 and 10. The 14 misses again. And 13 is enough so that Anari is staggered, goes down. But because of Arcane Step, she's still allowed to move 1 space. She will go up here before she goes down. Second activation. Now Sagan will activate. He will get up and attack Aomar. Agility is also half, so that would be a 6, yeah. Confrontation, it is -3, -6, 10 against 9, yeah. So Sagan has a total of 8.5, 9. Aomaru, -3 for the weather, -3 because of Masterful Parry. He has a 10, 12 and a 5. Sagan needs a 9 or less. 2 8. Sagan wins this. Power at 15 in total. Armor 3, so 12 or less to wound. 15 and 20. Not enough, but enough to give him 2 weak points. 1, 2. And that was the third activation of Aomaru. And now Nara, ignoring armor and with cleave, and okay, burn 1 is reduced because so burn doesn't count. But since Aomaru is out of activations, Nara is able to attack. Power of total offense of 17 because she's engaged with the same target as Sagan. So 17 or less. 5, 7 and 9. These are 3 hits. Ignoring armor, power 14. The 15 doesn't hit, but the 9 and the 7 does. And since she has cleave, this is a 3rd wound. So, and we are 6 from 8. And now Nara's second activation, the Fame again. 12. 17 and 2, 3 hits, 14 or less. 6, 4 and 9, plus a 3rd one for cleave. 9 wounds, Aomaru is down. Okay, Theros and Nara's sacrifice were not in vain. And with this, Sagan is still up. he has one activation point left. He only activated once, yeah. Sagan walks into this space and finishes his activation. Yeah. And with the next hostile's turn, since our Moro is not on the field anymore, Sagan is no longer confused. Ha! Great thing. Let me see which hostiles I roll. It's a 15, which is one tier 2. Closest is once again here. And now let me just see what the Chaos deck says. Tier 1 hostiles gain sweep 1 and shuffle into the... Okay, and this one responds 2. I already put the action token here, here, and here, here. And just checking my power, I will just save the recording to be sure. And yeah, as soon as I save the recording, I will continue with the turn. Okay, with Sagan no longer confused, but also not boosted, the Bonewalker will activate first. Nara will also react, and Sagan will react. Sagan will make confrontation. Nara will dodge 2 spaces because move 1 space, sorry, up to here. So the Bonewalker has 2 strikes, Sagan has 2 strikes, and Sagan reduces its offense. Therefore, from 11 it gets down to 8. Sagan from 14, because of the shield, gets down to 11. Sagan misses, and the Bonewalker with a 3 and a 4, 2 hits. Armor 6. These are a 12 and a 14, which is not enough, but Sagan gets up to 18 weak points. This one I will most likely will not destroy it the whole campaign. The second activation of the Bonewalker, Nara will activate again, and she will dodge up to here just to get 1, 2, 3 spaces, and Sagan will become the next closest one. And Sagan will react again. Bonewalker and Sagan. Bonewalker with a 10, 12 miss. The 12 on Sagan's part is also because he needs an 11, but this one hits. Power 15 minus the armor of 2. 12 is enough to put it down. But it will not help Sagan against the corroded sword of the Forgotten Hero. 2 strikes at 14. 2 hits. 15 and 16, definitely not enough to further wounds, so Sagan's at 20 weak points. And the second activation, 2 hits. 7 and 6. It has... The corroded sword has power 11 minus 6, 5 or less, so these 2 are once again 2 weak points on Sagan. 22 weak points on Sagan. Okay, interesting. That was the hostile's turn. In the strategic phase of the heroes, the healing potion will come back. Theros will use 1 medicine to regenerate 1 hit point. And let's turn this all around. And there he gets 1 medicine back. Excuse me. And he will also in the strategic phase... No, okay, he will stay where he is. Let's start. Nara will put Spectral Sight onto herself to have advantage against undead, just in case. She will activate first, go up to here, spend her second mana point, spend her second Banishing Talisman, and turn this one around. So now all they are cleansed. No -3 attacks, spellcasting is not hindered anymore, and we can use Command Undead again. That was the first one. And the first activation from Nara. The second activation, 1, 2, 3. Oh, 1, 2, she can get up to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nara will run up to here. Theros can ignore armor, hazy, so he will stand up. Shoot at the Forgotten Hero. The Forgotten Hero on his end will dodge. Theros, since there's no longer the necromantic fog, has a 17 or less with a Thanian crossbow. 3 is a hit, and a 2 is a dodge. 1 to 10 it will dodge into the same space as Nara. Yeah, it will dodge into the same space as Nara. And next, Theros will walk before that. 1, 2. Before he now throws the soporific grenade. 14 or less. It will hit. And the Forgotten Hero with a 15 fails to dodge. So it has to make a moral check against 10 or less. 14, it actually failed it. It is still allowed to dodge, but it failed if they become incapacitated. So this one is incapacitated. And with all that, that was the... Oh no, Sagan is still allowed to do something. It's tempting to go over and use the intrigue. Yeah, come on. Let's do it. When you first interact with the intrigue token, read E. Yeah, come on. I will do it. This might be stupid, but I want to know what it is. So, we go to page 149. 149, and we are reading E07. Off to the side you spot a narrow crack in the wall, partially hidden by dense foliage. A rough hemp rope binds it, its stitches holding a crack together. With talismans plastered on either side, their inscription fade with age. This seal seems to be holding something, or someone within. The cat apparition slips effortlessly into the crack, disappearing into the dark. As you peer inside, a shadowy figure with 2 flaming eyes stares back, its twin tails shifting ominously. Vile accusers, all humans lie. Feel my vengeance, the creature hisses. Place hidden grotto, secret lock next to the field, and place another intrigue token on A. Intrigue token E. Okay, the intrigue token E stays where it is. Here we are. Allowing heroes to move between them by performing climb. Place 3 objective marker onto the field on 2. 1 on 2, 1 on 4, and 1 on the space with the highest number. Represent amber seals containing the necromata within the secret location. Necromata in the center of the secret. It can be freed. Read crest rule amber seals or defeated. It can only be targeted with the secret. The necromata has incorporeal 1 HP armor. If defeated, remove it from the field and cancel the 5 flames of necromata quest rule. After reading the ending of necromata was freed, read okay. Crest rules. As long as all undead can burn 2. Oh, okay, that's not cool. As long as the necromata remains within the secret location, all heroes on the space containing the ember seal must have their int and R. Necromata can be freed if all ember seals are moved to an intrigue E. An ember seal can be picked up by a hero if it performs an interaction. A hero that picked up the ember seal may move the object marker with the miniature wherever they move. In the space with the intrigue E, remove the necromata and cancel the fierce flame rule. Upon entering the secret location, a model suffers power from... Okay. Quite a lot to do. I will just set it up, save the recording, and let you join as soon as I'm done with it. I'm glad that I saved the recording because my power was indeed quite low, and yeah, my tablet which I use for recording just shut down. What happened? I decided with Sagan to forfeit his activation and stay where he is because I think this is quite good, especially since the Forgotten Hero is incapacitated and regains no activation points. I put up the Bone Walker, give him his activation points, and I rolled a 5 for the spawning hostiles, which is 1 tier 1. I didn't roll which one, so I will just do that. 1 to 10 it's the the Vengeful Spirit, and with a 5 it is the Vengeful Spirit, and with 3 the closest one is up to here. And now let's see what the Chaos deck says. We are at midday, so highest tier hostile on the field suffers a confused state until next. Okay, sad, because 1-1 and the 2-1 doesn't regain anything. So the Blinding Light is not helping in this instance. But that said, let's see. 1 to 10, the Vengeful Spirit activates first. It's a 17, which means the Bone Walker will walk into the same space as Sagan and Nara. 1 to 10, he attacks Nara. He attacks Sagan. And Sagan will react by confronting him. Sagan having 2 attacks, the Bone Walker having 2 attacks, and Sagan reduces the offense. Sagan sadly is not enchanted. So the Bone Walker with a 20 and an 11 misses. And Sagan with a 6 and a 5 hits. Power 15 minus armor 2, I believe. One way or another, a 4 is enough to put it down. Yeah, and also with the low rolls below 10, it was enough for Sagan to successfully win this confrontation. Now, the Vengeful Spirit enters the game. Nara had second sight onto herself. 1 to 10, it's Sagan. Nara, so Sagan will use his free protector skill to intervene. Sagan has 1 attack, reactive row, Sentinel, Vengeful Spirit. Sagan reduces its offense by 3. Oh, sorry, I forgot the Forgotten Hero, but that would still not enable the Bone Walker to hit. So, total of -1, offense of 9, and 11 is not enough. And Sagan with a 6 is enough, the 17 sadly not. Since the Vengeful Spirit is incorporeal and Sagan is not enchanted, only half of a power 15, so 8 or less. And with a 6, it is enough to put this Vengeful Spirit down. As I said, the Forgotten Hero is, and Theros would also have activated and go into this space just so that he can respawn or heal a Neri, because now Theros gets 1 item back in the hero's activation phase, strategic phase, sorry. It's the medicine. I will just turn around all the activation points. And he will immediately spend the same medicine to bring a Nari back. And this instance, Nara will cast Soul Leech onto herself to get mana points back. And you are also getting activation points too. And with all that, let's start with... Do I want to go with Sagan, who's not buffed? Yeah, let's go with Sagan. Or he is engaged, so therefore he cannot shoot. I will go with Nara, who, because of the dense fog, will stay where she is. Will I go? No, I will go with Sagan. Sagan goes up to here and attack the Forgotten Hero. The Forgotten Hero will react by attacking Sagan, even when Sagan is not enchanted. Sagan at 14, Forgotten Hero at 14. Sagan use his Masterful Parry to reduce it to 11, and the Forgotten Hero, because in his reactive row has only 1 strike. With a 3, that's a hit. Sagan, the 2 is cancelled by the Forgotten Hero's 3, but 3 is cancelled by Sagan's 9. 15 minus 6, 9 or less. It's a 4, the Forgotten Hero gets 1 wound. Now, with all this, Theros will activate next. He will dodge. The Forgotten Hero will attack. Forgotten Hero, 14 or less, with a 2, it hits. And Theros, 13 or less, with a 2, is able to dodge. He's able to dodge 1 space. And now the Forgotten Hero is out of activations, which is enough for Anari to get up and walk 1 space back. And she will use her activation to cast Melting Touch on Sagan, who is now enchanted. And whenever he becomes enchanted or healed, which is the case, he can make a 3-strike 1 attack. So 17 with burn, ignoring armor against the Forgotten Hero. 7 is enough to hit. 15 is not enough to wound, but since he hit, Theros is allowed, because of sequential assault, to make an attack. Thanian crossbow. 19 is a miss. Okay. Now I will just go back to the rules. Int and moral is halved, and if he performs an interact action. Okay, so interact actions here, and one has to go there. I want to free the Necromata. For this, Sagan will activate. Sagan will attack the Forgotten Hero. He was out of activation points, so he has 2 strikes normally. Second win for a third one. 17 or less. 2 natural ones and a 20. This is a roll of extremes, so ignoring armor anyway. 10 and 14 is enough. And now, because of the aquatic, the burn 1 is negated, so he gets down. And Nara will activate next. She will go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up to here with her first activation. Her second activation. 1, 2, 3, 4. She will go up to here. Will she? She will not. She will stay here. 1, 2. Interact, and then comes. She will stay here, as far away as possible from the number. Because there's a potential, here's a potential, and I have to look up where enemies can spawn. It's 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Both alcoves. And currently it would be Theros, who also activated already once. So that's sad. If Theros activates and takes the interact, he will definitely be encountered. So will that's that. Theros will activate next. 1 space, 2 space. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He will interact with this loot token, and on 5 it's the precious metals. I will give it to him as soon as I'm finished with the hero's turn. And Sagan, Nara could activate. Sagan will stay where he is. So Anari will cast Melting Touch onto Theros, so that these two now have Melting Touch. Activated, and Nara had casted Soul Leech onto herself, and she will cast Leech Life onto herself too. Spectral Sight. Oh. Okay, another idea. She is no mage. Okay, she cannot convert this into mana points, so yeah. Soul Leech and Leech Life onto herself, so that she can regain hit points and mana. Let me save this before we jump into the hostiles turn, which I will prepare. I just realized that I have no Profane Burner left because this one is cleansed and this one is cleansed. Therefore, I can take these hostiles and they are destroyed. And you are gone as well. And with all that, let's see what we will spawn in. It's a 1, tier 1 hostile, 1 to 10 it's the spirit, 5 it's the spirit. Since these two are both equally apart from Sagan, 1 to 10, it's a 6, he will spawn here. And 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, Sagan is the next one. It will activate and attack Sagan, who will react. And quite familiar, reducing its offense by 3. Therefore it is only a 7. With a 2, this is enough to hit. Sagan 17 or less. 3 and 13. Both win the confrontation. 15 or less. 12 and 17. Burn is reduced, but since there is no Profane Burner left, it can be taken out of the game. And I totally forgot. Brief Respite may spend an activation point to remove 1 wound. That would have been something Theros would have used. And then I have to shuffle it back into the deck. But before that, let me continue with my hero's turn. Theros gets back the medicine. The heroes in general get back their activation points. And I will start with 1, 2, 3. Nara casts Backward Sight onto herself in the strategic phase, so let's jump back to the Necromata. All under game burn 2, okay. Now under present. Int and moral is halved. All heroes on the space with the Ember Seal, yeah. And if we can be picked up if we perform interact action, which is the case. They move out of whenever they move. When all on the space with the Intrigue E, remove the Necromata and cancel the Fury. Okay, so she got it, and now she will run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Sagan will pick up the other Ember Seal, and then his second activation, he will just walk 1 space up to here. Nara with her second activation, 1, 2, gets also here. Theros activates next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He runs. Wait, will he run? Because then he would be on the space and would... He will go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we will see. He goes there. And Neri goes movement speed half, so she will run up to here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And her second activation, she will go here. Cast Melting Touch on Sagan, and Arcane Step goes 1 space there. Okay, these were all my heroes. I will shuffle the deck and then we will continue with the hostiles turn. Okay, with Sagan Enchanted, number 3 is the closest one. Let's see, going back to the spawning table, it's a 20. 1 tier 2, 3 and 1 tier 2. This is a 2-slot space, so what I will put the Oni Marauder down here, and the Forgotten Hero goes up here, just putting it there this way. So since this space is full because of the Oni Marauder, Sagan can attack it and Nara can attack it too. Nara has still Leech Life and Soul Life, so she is buffed in this regard, but does not ignore armor. And the Oni Marauder, before that, hostile recovery, 2 highest tier hostiles, okay. Shuffle into the deck, they are just respawned, so it's fine. Oni Marauder activates first. It has 2 strikes, let's see. 1 to 10, it's Sagan. It attacks Nara, which will trigger Sagan's Protector skill. So, 1 attack for Sagan. He has his Sentinel, Oni Marauder has 2. Sagan will reduce the Oni Marauder's offense from 14 to 11. So, 11 or less. 10 and a 17, the 10 is a hit. Sagan has 14 because he's enchanted, has 17. 14 and 6, so the 6 is cancelled by the 10, but the 10 is cancelled by the 14. Sagan's 14 wins. Therefore, power 15. At 13, ignoring armor because melting touch, the Oni Marauder gets 1 wound. The burn quality is ignored because Sagan stands in aquatic. Sorry, nearly forgot that. And because he hit, Theros is allowed to make an attack. Thenian crossbow, 19, he misses, he needs a 17 or less. Oni Marauder's second activation, 1 to 10, it's Nara. 17, it's Sagan himself. Sagan activates. Oh, and because Sagan hit the Oni Marauder, he also hits the Forgotten Hero. 15 or less for the Forgotten Hero. 10 is enough to put a wound onto the Forgotten Hero as well. So now, Oni Marauder, same as previously, 11 or less. It's an 11 and a 9. Sagan, 17 or less. It's a 2. And the 14 luckily beats both other of the Oni's results. Therefore, Sagan once again, 15 or less. 4 puts another wound onto the Oni Marauder. And is it enough to also, because of sweep 1, wound the Forgotten Hero? It is not, but it puts a wound onto the Forgotten Hero. Oni Marauder out of activations. Now, the Forgotten Hero, 1 to 10 Nara. It's Nara. Sagan will use his free Protector skill. And the Forgotten Hero will also suffer -3, gets down to an 11 as well. 11 or less, it's a 9 and a 7. Here. And Sagan, 17 or less. 2 and a 5, he loses the confrontation in both cases. Let's see. 10 and 11. It has power 11 -6, 5 or less. Sagan gets 2 additional weak points. He is now at 24, the Hanya, keeping him still standing. And now his next activation, 1 to 10, it's Nara. It's Sagan again, and Sagan activates. Or what means again, this time it's Sagan. Same as previously, 11 or less. It's a 2 and a 12. So the 2 is a hit. 17 or less for Sagan. 16 and 15. And he, with a 15 and 5 is enough. The Forgotten Hero is immediately destroyed. And let me jump right into my hero's turns. Nara casts. I could have used Nara's Leech Life, Soul Life to get mana points and try to attack, but now it's too late. Nara casts Soul Life, Soul Leech onto herself to get mana points, and I will start with Sagan, who's not enchanted. I will not start with Sagan. I will start with Nara. Yeah, I will start with Nara. She will, because she's in the same engaged with the same enemy as Sagan. She is allowed. She's boosted to 17. So Nara has 2 strikes. The Oni Marauder has only 1. Oni Marauder 10 or less. It's a 7. Nara 17 or less. 15 and 7, 2 hits. Power 14 minus armor 3. It's an 11 or less. These are 2 wounds, which is not only enough to put the Oni Marauder down because it already has 2 wounds. It is also gives Nara 2 mana tokens back. Oni Marauder destroyed. And Nara has hit and retreat. Therefore she's allowed to move. And she will move... Will she move into the space? No, she will stay where she is. Now, Anari walks into here, casts Melting Touch on Sagan, stays where she is, casts Melting Touch on Nara, Arcane Step, moves out of the dense haze. Theros, 1, 2, 3 spaces, interact to pick up the seal, the Ember Seal, Burn Seal, the Ember Seal. And now he uses run action, so activate twice. Sagan didn't activate it, Nari activated twice. And now he has this full movement, but as soon 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He will run up to here. All 3 Ember Seals are here. When all 3 Ember Seals are on the Spellful Intrigue E, remove Necromata. Poof. Necromata. So, okay. Quest after reading quest ending, if Necromata was freed, reach secret lock. Okay. So Bewildering Aura is still here, but otherwise it's fine. So, with all this, let's continue with Sagan has 2 activations, Nara has 1 activation. Currently they will spawn here. So I will stay where I am. And let's go into the hostiles turn. I will roll for the hostiles. There still has to get this precious metal. It's a 12, which is 1 tier 2, which spawns up to here. And now I have to reshuffle the deck, and I'll join you as soon as I am done this. Okay, Chaos deck. The Chaos deck says, regroup. 2 different heroes may spend an activation point to remove a wound or a weak point. Sagan could use it. Weak point might be interesting. 2 different heroes. Yeah, I will do that. Anari and Theros use that each to get down 1 weak point, so that Anari has only 2. And Theros has only, where is it? Come on, here, has 2. Yeah. Or do I want? I will just put Anari back up to her 3, because I prefer to have Nara without any weak points. So that looks better. And if Nara is attacked, Sagan can attack too. Since the dense haze is still here, the Forgotten Hero will walk 1 space. And let's start with 1 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15. Above is a reroll. It will attack Sagan. Sagan will react by defending. So we get a confrontation. Where is here's the other die. So Sagan has 2 strikes. Forgotten Hero has 2 strikes. Sagan will reduce its offense by 3. 11 is still enough, but the 20 is a miss. Sagan 17 or less. 10 and 4. Sagan will lose this confrontation. 1 hit. And a 9. It's 11 minus 6. It is not enough. Sagan gets another weak point. Is at 25. Same roll as before. Who will be attacked? 2. It will. Saros would have activated also to dodge. Yeah. To dodge out of the way. And now 1 to 10 it would be Nara, and otherwise Sagan. Let's reroll. It is Sagan immediately. So here we go. And Nara will use Foresight to wait. So Sagan has 2 attacks, Forgotten Hero has 2 attacks, Forgotten Hero 11 or less because of combat art from Sagan. 11 and 3. Sagan with 17, 8 and 9, he once again loses this confrontation. And 11 is not enough, but the 5 is enough, so Sagan is now at 26 weak points and 2 wounds. Let me just to be sure. Power of 11, yeah, 5 or less, and it's a 5. Okay, exactly a second wound on Sagan. And Nara will spend this to attack. Since it had points this turn, she will not get her claws. So 17 because she is in the same confrontation as Sagan, so 2 hits. No, sorry, she has only 1, but both hit, therefore only 1 hit. And now 14 minus 6, 8 or less. She ignores armor, but with a 20 it is no wound nevertheless. Okay, with all this done, let's get into the hero's turn. Because, yeah, it was the reactive, now the hero's turn. Here, 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 and here. Luckily, the burn quality was negated previously because of the Necromata. So, Theros gets his soporific grenade back, finally. And now, Nara casts Spectral Sight onto herself. And she will wait because Sagan... I wanted to enchant Sagan without getting attacked. Come on. And Nara activates first. She gets into the same space and gets Melting Touch onto Sagan, which triggers an attack from the Forgotten Hero, 14 or less. A 4 is a hit, and a 3 is a wound. With this, Nara goes down. But since she enchanted Sagan, Sagan gets, because of Martial Gravitas, strike 1. He will use Second Wind to enchant it to 2. I cannot be modified, sorry. 1. Yeah, he will, with a 19, he failed to hit. Now Sagan will attack. The the Forgotten Hero will defend. And Sagan will reduce its defense to 11. It's a 3. And Sagan with a 3, and I will reroll this one, 15. So the 3's cancelled out, 2 hits. 3 and 2 is enough to wound. The Forgotten Hero is immediately downed again. Now, Nara will activate. She will cast Second Chance on Anari. Luckily, the 3 is enough because of the Bewildering Aura. Okay, only as long as the Necromata is there. Okay, so still it's 1 success. Anari gets her life point back, a hit point back. Anari will also activate, use a run action to move 2 spaces. Getting up to here. Sagan activated, Nara activated once. Now, yes, Sagan is already full with equipment. Theros has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 because of the precious metal. So, Nara goes up to here, interacts with the special loot token, And let's just roll a die. It's 7, it's a banishing talisman. So, now I will get Precious Metal and Banishing Talisman, and I will let you join to continue my hero's turn as soon as I turn around her activation point. Coming back to the hostile spawning. Let's see. It's a 20. So, this instance, since Nara is here, I have to switch it. Nara is here and the Marauder is here. The Oni Marauder will activate first, attacking Sagan. Sagan will, of course, react. Oh, sorry, turn this around. Sagan will, of course, react by attacking the Oni Marauder. 2 strikes for Sagan. 2 strikes for the Oni Marauder. Oni Marauder is down to 11. It's an 11 and a 12. And Sagan 11 and a 7. So they both hit each other. The Oni Marauder has a reach of 1, so he can hit another hero. 1 to 10, it's Theros. It's Nara. Oh, this might be devastating. Nara luckily has the foresight. She will try to dodge. And with a 10, she successfully dodges. Here she has her normal movement, so 2 spaces. 1, 2. No. 1 getting in the same space as the Oni Marauder. Now, the Oni Marauder at Sagan. Sagan is hit, therefore staggered. Now she will go another space back into this one. Staggered armor piercing. So therefore it is 19 minus 3, 16 or less. 20. Sagan is still standing and gets another weak point. 27. Sagan also hit the Oni Marauder. 15 or less. 8 is enough to put a wound onto the Oni Marauder. No burn because of aquatic, but it has the bleed quality now. Let me just grab, where is it? Here. Here. And also Theros is allowed to shoot at it, or because he is in reach of the Oni Marauder, he cannot shoot at it. Okay. Sagan is not hit because it's Dance Weather, and the Dance Weather means that it has a reach weapon. It suffers -3, and also it would have -1 to strike. So basically Theros is not hit, and it's fine. He still has his activation, which is important because now the Oni Marauder attacks once again Sagan, and Sagan is now allowed to react again, reducing the Oni Marauder's offense once more. So Oni Marauder, it's -6, 8 or less. 4 and 10, the 10 misses. Sagan 17 or less. 10 and 11, both hit. And 15 and 8, since he is enchanted, these are 2 wounds. Theros is allowed to make an attack. With a 15 he hits this time. Because +3, it's 17 in total. Assassination 1 means power 19 minus armor of 3, 16 or less. It's a 16, which is the 4th wound, which is enough to put the Oni Marauder down. Okay. So Sagan has become my linchpin. And do I want to risk Nara? Going there, attacking. Okay, each attack on Nara would go to Sagan, otherwise Sagan would be attacked if Sagan goes down. Yeah, come on. Nara tries it, and with the Oni Marauder's activation, she will dodge into this space. Now the Forgotten Hero activates. It goes into the same space. 1 to 10, it attacks Nara. Nara, Sagan uses his free protector rule to protect Nara, reducing the Forgotten Hero by offense by 3. 1 for for his square off, because it's his reactive roll, he gets another strike. 11 or less. it's a 7 and a 15. Sagan 17 or less. 7 and an 8. So both hit each other. The Forgotten Hero with a 16 just puts another weak point onto Sagan. 28. And Sagan 15 or less. 3 is enough to wound him. And knockback 1 doesn't mean anything. Therefore he lets him go where he is, because now... Oh, because Sagan hit it, Theros is allowed to make an attack. 18 is a miss. 1 to 10 it's Nara. It is Sagan himself. Sagan cannot defend himself. So these are 2 hits. And the 5 is enough to wound, and the 12 puts him down. Puts another weak point onto Sagan, who's now at 29. And is down. Now, excuse me, I forgot the Chaos card. It would have been, okay, remove all states. Okay, that is not so bad. I didn't have to redo anything or rethink anything. Now, it's the hero's turn. Let's turn all this around. Come on. Here we are. Nara casts Spectral Sight. Yeah, she will cast Spectral Sight onto herself to have advantage. Nah, we will go with Necrotic Wounds to get Cleave. So, with this, let's start with... I will start with Theros, who will use his Soporific Grenade onto the Forgotten Hero. Theros, with a 9 would hit. The Forgotten Hero tries to dodge. With a 3 and an agility of 8, it successfully dodges into the space of Theros, which is great. Because now Nara can cast Second Chance on Sagan. With a 2 and a 7, he regains 2 wounds and gets 1 activation token back. Which Theros, which Sagan is, which Sagan will he use it? Before that, Theros will try to dodge, which triggers a reaction from the Forgotten Hero. Forgotten Hero with a 5 would hit, and Theros is hit. With an 8, it is 11 minus armor 2. It is enough to put a wound on Theros, and he's allowed to dodge once. Now, Sagan gets up and walks 1 space into the same space as the Forgotten Hero. He will attack. 2 strikes normally, 1 for second wind because it is defenseless. 7, 10, and she's not buffed, but a 20 is a miss anyway. 50 minus 6, it's 9 or less. 20 and 2, 1 wound. And now Nari will activate. She will run 1, 2, 3, 4. She will activate second time, goes here, and she will cast Arcane. She will cast Melting Touch onto Sagan. Arcane steps here. Sagan gets a free attack, enchanted by Second Wind. So 17, 2 hits. And 14, 11, ignoring armor, is enough to put it down. Nara is still able to activate once, because Nara did it the second time. And Nara will go 1, 2, goes here, and she will cast Second Chance on Theros to heal him up. 15 and 16, she is intelligence of 13, not enough. And now Sagan with the Ranger is allowed to make a normal move, goes also there to see what happens and spawns here. It's a 20. So this gets convoluted again. Tier 1 gets up here. And this one I will spawn as close as possible. I will spawn in here. Okay. I will shuffle the Chaos deck and then I will draw the card and continue with the turn. Back to the Chaos deck. We have Premonition. Draw the Chaos tiles, return the one on the bottom and put the card one to the bottom and put this card at the bottom of the deck and resolve the remaining Chaos card. So, the first one is Brief Respite to regain a wound and Weather Freezing Winds. Yeah. Wait a second, because this one hinders me to cast effectively, and now I will actually choose Freezing Winds to cancel out Heavy Snow to get the benefits. Because now the fog is cleared and I can use my range attacks more efficiently again and also put my caster a little bit more away. Now, let's start with the Oni Marauder. It will attack 1 to 5 and then clockwise. Let's see. 16, it is Anari. So, Anari and Nara will wait with their activations. Sagan will take the hit, he will use a protector. And when you run on a model that is not a partner while the partner is engaged, an additional AP. That would cost Sagan 2 APs. Yeah. Will he do it? He will not do it. No. Sagan has the best defense and he can put the Oni Marauder down to 11. Yeah, okay. While the partner is engaged, yeah. When the partner is engaged, he must pay double. Yeah, he will do that. So, Theros will, just in case, will dodge. But before that, Oni Marauder, 2 and 18. The 18 is a miss, the 2 is a hit. Sagan, 9 and 4, wins this confrontation. So Theros doesn't have to roll, but he can dodge 1, 2. Sagan hits 2 times, 15 or less ignoring armor. It is 1 wound. And since Sagan hit, Theros, who just dodged, is allowed to make a snipe shot. With a 4 he hits. And 19 in power minus armor 3 is 16 or less. This is a second wound. Onto the Oni Marauder. And yeah. And Neri will also use this to dodge. She will dodge here. Oni Marauder's second activation, 1 to 10, it's against Nara. It is against Nara, which Sagan will use his free protector rule now. And with this, it's similar to previously. Oni Marauder, 18 and 17, these are 2 misses. Sagan, 17 or less, 19 and 17. The 17 is just enough to hit. 15 or less. With a 10, it is a 3rd wound. And Theros, with a 9, he hits. And with a 4, he puts the Oni Marauder down. Okay. I just remembered recalled the activation in the first few games where the Oni Marauder was really tough, and now in 1 turn and the Oni Marauder is down. Now, the Forgotten Hero, since he's also able to shoot, will shoot 1 to 10, it's Nara. It is Nara. Sagan uses his protector, so redirecting the hit onto himself. And can make a 3-strike 1. So Sagan is also allowed to shoot. Okay. The Forgotten Hero has, with his corroded warbow, only a strike of 1, 14 or less. It's a 5. Sagan has an accuracy of 12. It's a 9. Sagan wins because of his short bow. And ignoring armor, 18 is not enough, which is a weak point. But since Sagan hit Theros, with a 12 hits 2, and with a 9 puts a wound onto it. So 1 weak point and 1 wound onto the Forgotten Hero. Next shooting attack, 1 to 10, it's Nara. It's Sagan. Sagan is not allowed to react. So Forgotten Hero with a 5 hits. And with a 4 is enough to wound Sagan, giving him a second wound. And the poison 1. And stagger, but Sagan was already out of activation points. Now, with poisoned 1, I believe his... He has the weak trait, and weakened causes... Yeah, weak state, and I have to... here. Half toughness and -1 strike. Okay. So, with this, the hostile's turn is done. Let's get to the hero's turn. So, here we are. And I will start the hero's turn with Nara casting Spectral Sight onto herself, Theros getting the Soporific Grenade back, and I will start with Anari moving 1 space here. She casts Melting Touch on Theros. Theros then moves. He moves 1 space back to have still a clear line of sight to the Forgotten Hero and attacks the Forgotten Hero, which will react by shooting at Theros back. Theros 14 or less. It's a 10. Forgotten Hero with a 2 loses the confrontation. Not 14 or less, that would have been the Forgotten Hero. Theros has 17 or less, but he still wins. Power 19, ignoring armor. It's a 12, and with this, the Forgotten Hero is put down. And now Nara makes a run action. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. She has reduced to 2, sorry. She goes up to here. Sagan makes a run action. Is allowed to make... so Nara is enough to go here with 4 spaces. Sagan runs 2 spaces up to here. Theros activated once, Nara activated once. Anari makes a run. 1, 2. Or she moves only here and enchants Sagan and with Melting Touch. Then she goes here. Sagan activates. He only walks up to here. Theros activates. Goes up to here. And Nara casts Leech Life onto Sagan. It is a strike 1. So let's see. 13 or less. It's a 5. Why I do this? Because Sagan has 2 wounds currently lost. So with this he has a chance to heal. 1, 2. Okay, they're both equally apart from the heroes now. Let's see. Sagan is no longer weakened. Let's see what spawns. It's a 6, 2 tier 1. 1 to 10. 15. And 1 to 10. Yeah. Let's see where they spawn. 1 to 10 for the Bone Walker. 15. It will be here. 1 to 10 for the Forgotten Vengeful Spirit. This spawns here. And 1 to 10 the Bone Walker will activate first. No. Okay. Does the Incorporeal make him ignore terrain? Ignores environmental rules. Okay. That's what I wanted to know. Therefore, with his 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, it can go into the same space as Sagan and Nara, which will trigger a reaction from Sagan, who will use it to have one because of his reactive, a second because of Sentinel, and a third one because of Second Wind. 17 or less because he's enchanted, so 12 and 13, 18 doesn't hit. And because he has enchanted attacks, he has with a 2 and a 10, 2 wounds onto the Vengeful Spirit, which heals him enough to be right back, and I will save the attack from arrows because it doesn't matter right now. Now here, 1, 2, 3, 4. It can trigger activations. I will use it for Theros and for Nari, because both of these have range attacks. Theros, 17 or less, 16 hits. 19 minus 2, 17. It's just enough, it has only. Okay, plus 3 armor against range attacks, so armor 5. 19 minus 5 is 14 or less, so the shield, which I remembered, saved the skeleton. Now, Anari she will cast Ice Spike. And with this, or will she? Yeah, Ice Spike because of the higher armor. 16 or less. It's a 4, which is enough. 11 minus the total, since this is at range, minus 5 is 6 or less. 11 is not enough. First activation, second, down to 1 space because aquatic. 1, 2, it runs up to here. Triggering a bunch load of activations, meaning of all my heroes because they can. Starting with Sagan, who once again has 3 strikes. 17 or less because he's enchanted. 3 hits. And 15 or less. Yeah, this is more than enough. And this time also burn. Skeleton is down. Oh, I forgot. What do they have? Dense Haze. Okay, Hazy Environment again. But it doesn't matter because it wasn't ruined on range. It was killed by Sagan in close combat. And next activation, the heroes leave the field. Okay, with all that done, the Necromata event is after reading the quest ending. So, is still alive, trigger resolve. Okay. Yeah, you mongrel, do you no, it was cleansed after you was already defeated, so you mongrel, do you realize what you have done? Growls, his voice terminally fury, you will pay for your insolent. Only cleansed burner and behavior. Okay, this will not happen. If the Blue Rosette was defeated, it is the case. Gain Fate Violet 1, read Secret Lot 16. And okay, I get 2 Fate points. Okay, and Secret Lock 16, 1, 2, 3. So let's go right there. Secret Lock 1, 2, 3, 16. As you land the final blow, the Reretsu staggers, dropping to one knee. Blood trickles from his lips, yet the corner of his mouth twitches as though he cannot truly accept defeat. Without warning, he rips off his gauntlet, tossing it aside. Dark flames burst from his exposed arms, spreading rapidly, engulfing him in an instant. The fire crackled, swirling hungrily as it devours him entirely. Moments later, all that remains is a pile of smoldering ashes and the gauntlet lying still on the ground. I gain the Brace of the War God legendary item. Okay. I will just grab this one because I will put it later. And now we are, after we freed the Necromata, 073. The presence of death lingers heavily as you leave the shrine. A sacred spirit of the land lies slain? Oh no. 2, not 3. I freed it. I didn't kill it. Okay, this one would have been the bad ending. After escaping the prison, the cat spirit appears before you, floating playfully. Its eyes have softened into glimmering marbles, and its twin tails flicker lazily calm in the open air. Through haste our gratitude, little humans, the necromancer purrs. Thou art the first in the decades to see through the lies of these deceitful clergy. They accused us of feasting upon the kin and raising restless dead, yet they lied and entrapped us within these cursed stones. With a twitch of its whiskers it continues, We sense thy worthiness and shall grant thee our aid. A collar materializes on your wrist, adorned with a delicate rope and a single tiny bell. In thy hour of need summon us, and that we may unleash our wrath upon thy foes. The necromancer's tail sweep across you in a final blessing. Farewell, humans. Use your gift wisely. With a shimmer, the spirit vanishes into the mist. Receive another fate point. Each hero may remove 1 wound per Obtain the Necromancer upgrade card. Okay. Each hero reduces 1 wound, so Theros is down to 1. Sagan doesn't really matter at all in this instant. He has so many. Still under 30. And Anari goes down to 2. So, down to 2. Okay, I will grab all the upgrades and token, clean the board, and then we will continue. I can already do that. After the old cementry, we are at dust. I will clean the board and then we will do the events afterwards, after I grabbed all the fate token. So, see you afterwards. Okay, as you can see here, I have put down all of my fate tokens so far. It's starting to get a collection. Also, the War God's Bracers. In this strategic phase, the wearer may control an enemy with undead 1 by performing intro equal to the target's tier. If successful, target becomes allied to the wearer until the end of the quest. On a fail, the wearer suffers a weak point. The wearer can control a number of models equal to or lower than their stamina. Sounds like an upgrade for an arrow within 16. And also Necromancer. Use this card during your strategic phase and discard it to gain the following effect for the duration of the quest. This model is ignored by enemy behaviors, provided at least 1 other ally is alive. Incoming attacks against this model suffer a -4 modifier. Recovery. You can recover this card at the next midnight. So, basically, it will not help us right now, but both of these sound like upgrades for a Neri who's really fragile and has the highest intelligence check. So, with all that, coming back here, we are at the old cemetery, and I already moved it to dust. So now, the first event card, the Forgotten Ones. A faint stench of decay drifts towards you, carried alongside a faint crimson miasma creeping from the path ahead. So, steel yourself against the stench and whatever lies before you. During the setup of the next quest, place this card next to 2, reach, or the unsettling thought of what lies ahead makes you retract your steps, avoiding 1 weak point. And okay, I'm definitely not doing that. We are going with the encounter of the Forgotten Ones. So next, the Lantern. As you ascend the winding path, lost in thought, a quiet calm begins to settle over you, like a soft blanket of peace. It takes a moment before you notice its origin, but the feeling grows as you proceed, filling the air with an unexpected tranquility. Find the source or avoid the area ahead by taking a different route. During the step of the next quest, place intrigue E on the space with either an intrigue or objective marker. If not present, place it on one. Place this card beside the space when you first interact with intrigue E. I will also avoid the area ahead, taking a different route. No, it's stinky. It's stinky. It is tranquil. We will take that. With that, we have 1.1 and 1.2. Now we wander 3. Profane Rupture. You halt before a narrow gorge, enveloped in a swirling purple haze. The air cracks with erratic magical energy, making this place unpredictable. Proceeding will require extra caution. Profane Rapture. Find a safer way. Honestly, Before we go to EG Village, we will start the quest Profane Rapture. And we do that at dawn. So, Profane Rapture, where that explains why it is stinky. It's the leaking gas from the Rapture, and it's the calm for the storm for the lantern. Okay. Profane Rapture, page 28. Let's have a look at it. 27, 28. So, this is the map, which we'll go through the next time. Until then, I hope you enjoyed the Let's Play and have a good day. Bye!